225 degrees sitting right there. That's wild. I'm excited too. On that note, thank you to today's sponsor, VEVOR, for sending me this product. I'm really excited to open this box and see what's inside. This is their 2 kW diesel heater, so I'm really excited to use this winter. And as far as I can tell, it is super lightweight, which is really nice. Down here in the south, I rarely need one of these, but you know, the mid-December to early March, typically, it's cold enough to where I can use one of these and get comfortable. So I'm excited to open the box and see what's inside. This is their 2 kW. It's their parking diesel heater for campers, so it's specifically made for this situation. All right, guys, so I went ahead and put a blanket down so that you can see this device a little bit better. The white on white was kind of clashing, so wanted to give you a better view of what we're looking at here. Right off the bat, huge shout out to VEVOR for sending me this product. They are the sponsor of today's video. I promised them a fair review, so that's what we're going to give them. I haven't used the device yet, so I can't quite say 100% how I feel about it, but just right out of the box, I'm really pretty impressed with what they were able to do with this small form factor here. If you look at the size of my hand in comparison to the size of the actual unit, this is super small, which is exactly what I need for the Jeep. So when they reached out to me and said they would send this to me, I was really happy, and also now I'm very impressed. So right off the bat, on the top, we've got the diesel tank. So just simple on and off cap there. You can monitor this. It's 0 to 100% on this side, and then it gives you the liters on the other side, but it's the same window, so you can watch and kind of see where you're at throughout the night. From what I've read and seen, this thing should last me for my setup one night, if not 2 nights. So that's pretty much all I'm looking for out of a unit like this. With it being this small, I can definitely pack it away in the Jeep pretty good. I know you've heard me say before that the TJ is pretty small and lacking on space. So with it being super small, I definitely am excited about that. It's made of aluminum. It's got a ceramic burner inside, so you know, just as much quality as you would get out of a bigger unit, all in this one little small compact form. So moving over to the front here, you can see the LCD screen, so you can turn this thing up and down or off from this screen, and you can also control that from the remote that they send you, so on, off, and up and down, depending on what level you want it at, straight from the tent or wherever you're at. And there's also an app. There's a couple QR codes on the top, tell you kind of how to get through the setup process and everything, but there is an app that you can control this from on your phone. The other thing that it comes with is an extension cord for the carbon monoxide detector right here. So if you're trying to mitigate any kind of potential hazards or just peace of mind, I definitely want peace of mind. Anytime I hear, you know, a gasoline or propane or a diesel run heater, it kind of keeps me up at night. So having an alarm that'll go off, an extension cord to where I can kind of move this to wherever I'm sleeping, gives me that peace of mind. So any way to mitigate that is nice. This is going to be where the hot air comes out, so all your hot air will also come out here. Comes with a duct. This is a smaller duct than most diesel heaters, so keep that in mind. This one is, from what I've read, 60 millimeters or close to 2.5 inches. So on Amazon, I was able to find a 16-foot direct match for basically what this comes with, which is just a small aluminum pliable one that you would see come with any diesel heater, but a couple different attachments here. This is the one that attaches to the tent, kind of gives you some direction on where the airflow will go, and then this attaches to the unit itself. All right, and then on the back, if I flip this thing around, right on the back we've got, let's see if I can do this real quick. On the back you've got your power, so a couple different ways to power this device as well. So plug straight into a 110 outlet or your power bank right here. It has a power adapter that changes over to 12 volts, so you can just plug that directly into the back. 12 volt power. And then you've got some ring clips that it sends you, or that they send you, that can, obviously just connect straight to a battery, which is nice. So if you've got a 12 volt battery or something set up with a 12 volt system, you can just hook that right up. Most people in a camper or an RV or van or something will probably use that. For me though, with the battery bank, it's just nice to be able to just plug that in, run it straight over the unit. So with that being said, you've got the intake on the blower right here, and then on the bottom, you've got the intake for the motor here, or for the engine. So this is the air filter. So this is just a little plastic air filter, a little mesh so that you don't get leaves and stuff like that in there. Then you've got the exhaust. So the exhaust pipe comes as a straight pipe. I bent a 90 on it to come out the side. This is a unit that has it coming out of the bottom, which for me, I don't really particularly like that because you have to get it up, get some clearance. I put the feet on, it's just 2 screws for each foot, pretty simple, but they don't give you the clearance that you're going to need depending on what you're setting this on. So if you're setting it on something metal, it's going to get the metal hot. And if you're setting it on something like wood, it's going to burn it. So just keep that in mind. That's the only thing I'm really seeing as far as a potential issue with this build. I don't particularly like the 90 there, but it is what it is. They actually make this in a bigger unit that has it coming out of the side. So with that being said, you've got the actual exhaust here, the heat shield, looks like fiberglass heat shield, and then a couple pipe clamps here, and the sound dampener, I can never say that word, muffler, so that you can kind of keep this thing quiet. It only runs at, from what I read in the paperwork, less than 75 decibels depending on what level you have it on, but the max is 75 decibels, so pretty quiet. It's not really going to be that loud, which is nice. So anyways, first off the rip, this thing looks exactly like I was picturing it to look, just smaller, which I'm happy about. I'm definitely happy about the size. So let's go ahead and test this thing out and see what kind of temperatures we can get in this room here. I'm going to go ahead and run the exhaust out the garage and then put some fuel in it and run it for a little while. And I guess we'll come back and check and see what the temperature of the room is. Let me grab a thermometer and I'll show you what it is right now. It says it's about 57-ish degrees in here right now. Well, that was pretty easy. So you just hold the power button down. Actually has a voice that tells you what level you're at. Yep, getting some heat coming out now. There it goes. Yep, and I can see the exhaust flowing out straight outside. Heck yeah. We're over 200 degrees. 215. Obviously you don't want to run it like this with just the exhaust going under the garage door. I just wanted to test it out and see how much heat was going to come out of it just in a short period of time. And I can already tell that the room's temperature has changed in that short amount of time. So keep that in mind. I mean, obviously you want to be careful with the exhaust on this, but if you're using it in a small space like where I'm at right now, you are 100% going to be scorched because we're sitting at 75 degrees right now in this area. So you're talking about 75 in a matter of, or from 54 to 75 in a matter of just minutes, just in this area here. So, and that was on full blast. I'm probably going to have this thing on all the way on low, but that's a good amount of heat for a small little unit like that. Definitely going to put this thing through the test out on the trail and make sure, see how fast it kills the battery, all that, see how well it works for me. But so far, I'm really happy with what they sent. VEVOR's got a good product here. Super compact. I mean, look at how small that thing is. This is definitely going to be a game changer out on the trail. So I won't be cold anymore. I'll be sleeping in my pajamas. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this works. And we'll see how fast, you know, it pulls wattage. And I'll follow up with a review video after we've used it. Anyways, like I said, huge shout out to VEVOR, and if you guys are interested, this is definitely a contender as far as a 2KW, because the size of this thing, you can't really get smaller than that, and this thing was pumping out a bunch of hot air, so super excited. Anyways, y'all, thanks for watching as always.